Hello there, and welcome back to Dragon Age Season 3, the vlog for Session 12. Lots of roleplay, fights with Darkspawn spiders, and new allies? Question mark?
And we didn't die.
Hey, and we broke a Templar.
Very much.
Yep. We needed to break him at some point.
That's true.
No, I didn't. So Garrison is a perfectly nice person.
I like how
Mhm.
everyone says that. Now his mind is just shattered.
Yeah.
I knew that bringing Cedric in would definitely stop Sir Garrison in his tracks, which is waiting for that.
But I did
Speaking
not
of
murder
Rosie,
him.
I have no idea what happened, but something happened.
This is going to be an Anders Hawk scenario. I can tell. Leon is going to end up exploding something, and Rosie's going to be there like, why? That was my dad's shot.
You burned all his diagrams.
My diagrams.
Maybe he destroyed it because there's too much poison, and maybe it's gonna cause some problem. It's gonna kill all the plants. So yeah, the letter shocked a few of us.
Yeah. So something about Amarin and the
Yeah,
Faust, which you knew was a thing.
yeah.
Oh, hey,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
The person who wrote the letter was Amarin. So, and
what are your thoughts on the contents of the letter?
I mean, it's
Oh,
Faust and Amarin had some sort of relationship of sorts. So, knowing, go ahead.
I have a theory which I'm pretty sure about. If you want to give
Amarin's
your
son.
theory first. Dun dun dun.
No, I'm joking. I'm joking. No, I think they just it's possible that either Leon is something special. Maybe there was some experiment with Amarin done. Maybe, possibly. That's my theory.
And you think that's the reason why the parents were looking for Amarin during the session 1? Is that why?
Ooh.
I think it's
So-
maybe to talk about stuff on him. Maybe that's my
Okay.
theory.
All right. Go ahead, Pasha.
So I think that Leon is Halsin. Was he called Halsin? The first blood mage, his ancestor.
Mm-hmm.
I think Leon is that guy. I either think he's a reincarnation or some kind of like, we'll just take his soul out of the Fade,
Archon style.
implant it in a baby, and it'll be fine. Like that's what I think Leon is.
That would be in theme. Yeah, that would be in
Yeah,
theme.
no, I'm with Pasha on that one because it was confirmed that we were descendants, and my blood is especially powerful, and the seals will hold. So that means that somehow he's sealing, and so the parents were, talking about,
Yeah.
how's the seal going?
Yeah.
Still, Amarin is connected with that somehow. So maybe the question is, how did he help you, or what
Yeah.
did he do to you? That's the
Yeah.
that's going to be interesting discovery when we go to the winter, but that's going to be a while.
Yep. And also, we got to go north after we go to Ferelden, which means Kirkwall.
Yeah.
That'll be fun.
Yeah. I was wondering if you would be able to figure out that riddle, but it looks like you needed a little bit of help.
Oh, 100%. I was not doing any word association in that regard. But yes, I'm glad we figured that out.
So we're
Just
going
now
to literally,
worried.
we're going literally to the worst place where mages are trained under. Or at
With an
least-
awakened Darkspawn mage.
Yeah.
And a
It'll
blood
be
mage.
fine.
Yay.
It'll be fine.
I will say I do find it very interesting that Dark Oak is in Kirkwall, because I don't know, like, I'm sorry, Sam, I don't know how much knowledge you have of Kirkwall. Do you know what's underneath Kirkwall?
No.
It's a giant blood ritual.
Oh boy.
That's why so many mages in Kirkwall are just like, we should do blood magic, is because underneath the city there's this giant blood ritual that's like, do blood magic, do blood magic, do blood. What? No, I didn't say anything. Do blood magic, do blood magic.
Okay, 10 out of 10. I dig it.
I was just thinking, because I was alive during Ancient Adventure, I wonder if I would have heard stories of Halcyon or something like that, like local legends kind of thing.
Does anyone have any thoughts on who Dark Oak is?
Have they been on screen before, just not as Dark Oak?
I don't think he wants to reveal it.
I can't. Yeah, I don't think I can answer that
Okay,
question without
okay.
revealing too much. I can't answer that
I mean,
question.
I got a half answer, but I'm not really sure about it.
I originally thought it might have been Amarin, but now with this, I honestly don't know anyone else in Kirkwall.
The only thing that I can think of in terms of the Dragon Age lore I've done is the fact that in DA2 you resurrect Flemeth, so maybe Flemeth? But I don't know how Dark Oak would relate to that.
Well, that's already been decanted because of season 1, where Flemeth was in the Fade as in Morgan's body or whatever.
Yeah, but even so, it would be Morrigan rather than Flemeth. But it would be Flemeth, so I'm not sure.
Maybe another Luvion mirror that's directly connected to bring back Morrigan. Or like, sorry, Flemeth, aka whatever. That's crazy.
Flemigan.
Flemigan. Flemigan.
I mean, it would make sense to be Flemeth, considering that Mythal's symbol was a leafless tree. And isn't a leafless tree on the book? On Pyrus, excuse me. Wasn't there something about leafless tree? To be
We can look.
I might be adding in what's its face? Sam, your Orion character.
Yeah.
I might be adding that into this, and I'm confusing myself.
Oh, don't confuse HP with tree.
Yeah, because there was a tree in there.
It really is his Orion character, and that's how we cross over.
Dun, dun, dun.
Oh, that'll be interesting.
Maybe. I mean, we have to do a crossover at some point, so maybe.
I'm looking forward to Dark Leon. Like if things start going real downhill real fast, I'm looking forward to Edge Leon.
Leon.
Emo Leon.
Yeah.
Where he's gonna try and beat Daretham on the emo scale.
No,
I
he's
mean, the
gonna
thing is-
corrupt some folk.
The thing is, I'm starting to like go off the email scale because of like the thing with Darren, and now I've revealed, so I don't have to be cloaked all the time. So yeah.
The edgy boy is becoming less.
Off to the carnival people, though.
Well, no, like I can't be around them, but at least around you guys, I can still. So like, if we're going down the deep roads, I can just be like, this cloak is too hot, kind of thing.
I actually had a conversation with somewhat interesting conversation with Darren, I have to say.
Oh yeah, Tyrion stealing your girl.
Yeah, I sensed flirting. Obvious flirting. Totally.
Obvious flirting.
But he is honest on what he said for that secret. He is honest. He would do it.
I do like the thread where Tyrion goes back with Darren, be like, "Oh no, I'm returned," and then when Emran is like, "Hey, now I'm going to beat you up," he's like, "Surprise, stab."
He put his tongue on like he just
I feel like I just want to have Leon like roleplay Amarin for that scene.
if he wants to.
Yeah, and then when he does that, we just like burst through the wall. Ha ha! We got you.
We got you.
And then the entire battle is just him going, and we go, ha ha! And that's the only battle.
10 out of 10.
Yeah, and he would do it because it's like he wants to help people, and if sort of freeing Darren, giving her at least citizenship, is sort of a way of helping her and also sort of himself, sort of, a little bit.
It would be a nice way to tie everything up.
And Leon needs some answers from Amarin.
Yeah, you can come with me. And
We're
we can
going there
pick him up.
anyway. Like we
Yeah,
might
we're
as
going
well
there
do
anyway.
it.
But yeah, that's
Hell,
fine.
we could even do like the whole thing where maybe we all helped Tyrion be hunted, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Which would be an easy way to get in.
We do like in Dragon Age 2 where we pretend to give Isabella over to the slaves. We all just slap Tyrion one after another.
I now know who I want to theorize for Dark Oak, but I'm not going to say.
Okay.
Oh.
I picked up on this small detail, and I'll say it out if anyone else thinks about it. Amarin has the same last name as a character from Tevinter Nights.
Oh, I know what it is. Yep,
I've not read Dementor
I know
Nights.
who it is. I know who it is.
He does. Yes, he does.
Which I've got 2 stories left to read in that.
I got a few.
Nice.
I don't know what else has happened before the final bit. So
You missed the mighty stones.
Yes. Oh my
no.
lord. Oh,
Mhm.
no.
Okay.
Should we tell him, or should we just let him watch and just see the catastrophe?
No, I think you guys should just talk about without giving any context.
sounds appropriate. It's what I
We
deserve.
found. Let's just say we found out why Tyrion's not certified.
Yeah, we found out that Tyrion's not certified.
So
Yes.
Pasha walked in on Tyrion with and caught him with his pants down, so to speak.
Yeah, something like that. All because of a bunny.
There's a reason why they call that Broma brother Tumble. Is all I will say. There's a reason he's called Tumble.
Pasha is absolutely telling people Tyrion is offering services that specific Kamazran offer in Saharan, because that's what she thinks now.
Oh, God.
Happening. That's what kind
Dominic,
of
you will laugh your ass off.
No
You'll laugh
wonder
your-
Tyrion and Leon are so close.
Oh, God. And that is why
There's
Tyrion
gonna
has
be
no-
a drama between Leon and Rosie. Like, I heard you did something, Leon.
You were with
No,
Tyrion.
baby.
And Pasha's just in the background, like, yes, drama.
And Rosie goes, "You were sleeping with Tyrion." Leon goes,
And then Leon not understanding, sleeping with, like, yeah, we sleep in the same room. Yeah, we are. And then she's like,
we
no.
sleep together all the time. Like every-
all the time.
You want to join us? It's like, you want to join us?
I think at that stage, Papa Solney would just, Theobin would descend from the sky, like, what did you ask my daughter?
You definitely need to bring that up in front of Theobin next time.
Yes.
Oh, no.
No,
Would you
no.
like to join us?
Pasha, it is
For
my
my part.
sacred duty to do so.
For Rosie and Leon.
Oh, one thing I was worried about was when Pasha was looking for Mr. Bunn, because Mr. Bunn is usually with Pyrus, that she would be like, oh, what's this book?
That could be a cookbook, cookbook, so good book.
And then she'd try out the pickled herring and be like, not my favorite.
She just opens it and it just says, Pasha should be killed in a sacrifice. Pasha should be killed in a Leon!
No, and then it's Garrison. No, there's like Pasha and Garrison are the main two.
Yeah.
Maybe my name.
For
was.
Garrison's the current
Tyrion
target.
too. I think Tyrion was mentioned.
Yeah.
Mm.
I'm
Rose-
probably in there somewhere.
I think it's the order is Pasha, Tyrion, then Garrison. But reverse flip it for like who wants to be killed first.
There was also the one scene with Violetta and Rousseau.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that developed in a lot of different ways than what I thought it was going to be. Like, I thought it was just going to be like, yeah, we'll chat a little bit. This is what I know. Like, do you know anything? But I kind of like how it went with how, like, they both opened up to each other.
And Russo got to lay in her bed.
Mm.
This was just the episode of sexual, non-sexual
Right.
situations.
Mm-hmm.
And then Pasha and Athon was really, really sweet.
I was
That was very
saying
sweet.
before, if I was playing a horny bard, I know I had the perfect song to seduce.
Which is
Okay, so basically, we'd need a telescope for this, but she'd have the telescope, she'd pass it to Athon, she'd point it towards Halam Sharal, because that's in the Dales, and then just see that palace of gold. A little bit phallic. Take a look and you'll agree. Take off your clothes. It's perfect. It's perfect.
what is that from? Wait, what is that from?
That is from Twisted, which is a parody musical of
Oh.
Wicked,
Yes.
But
Okay. Yes. Yes.
Aladdin. So it's the story
same-
of Jafar.
Right. The same group that did the Harry Potter musical. Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Cute.
perfect song. But Pasha is not a horny bard, so
We found
one of our sessions does lie on February 14th. So
Everyone gets laid that day.
oh, no.
Hey, my birthday's on February 3rd, actually, so
Oh, awesome.
February 3rd, not the 14th, but that will be, I believe the closed session will be January 31st.
Nice.
Hey, we also learned something else about Russo other than all the whole shenanigans of him being a true scale 1. His brother is a Grey Warden.
His brother is a Grey Warden. Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We'd known that, but we got a lot
Yeah.
more like details.
Yeah.
From Athon.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Which that'll be certainly interesting because we have 2 Guardians who work with Grey Wardens often.
Yeah.
So
The drop of Athon. I'm sorry. The drop of Corrin being a Grey Warden could have actually been discovered way sooner, depending on how much role playing Rousseau had done with Athon. Because I had intended for him to possibly unleash that detail to him even back in like session 3 or 4.
Wow.
But it didn't happen until now. So
I think it was he kept his brother's name secret and also.
Can't you also get your sentence commuted if you become a Grey Warden? So
yeah, right.
he,
Description.
yeah, he could have committed a big crime and got caught, and then the only way to survive was to become a Grey Warden.
yeah.
Or he chose to become one. So
I will say it did work out for the better that came out after Andrea and Cedric showed up from Athon.
Yeah.
I felt like it flowed better with the story.
yeah.
But I did also like the conversation with between Tyrion and Russo, like going about what would they do with the people that they sort of hate.
Yeah.
I kind of like. I loved how Tyrion was like, "Well, you need to think about this, this, and this." And Russo was like, "Well, are you thinking about that for your end? Because
Yeah.
it's pretty much the same thing."
Yeah, and he goes like, I haven't thought about that. So yeah, it's like how the doctors are, like, you know, like doctors treat their patients, but then they don't really treat themselves. Sort of like that.
Then I'm glad that chat finally like happened full flow with Pasha.
Yeah. The ending of that scene. Just how long has Rousseau known Kunlat?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I took the linguist talent like 3 levels ago, and I've been sitting on it.
Nice.
Oh, so he heard everything that Andrea and Pasha were talking about.
Shit.
Like the whole
no.
comment about the 2 weeks or something.
Oh, well, it's true.
Yeah, still.
Pasha didn't say anything that isn't true. She can live with that.
Yeah, I don't know if it came up on camera, but I actually started tearing while I was being like when I grabbed Balin.
Yeah, that was a powerful moment, man. You did good.
Okay, I was just gonna say Rosie's initial plan was adorable. I loved it so much.
Yeah, she was.
It's pretty good.
Just halfway through, when she was where the hell is it? It'll be here. When she was going like, and I know this, but I'm being selfish, and you need to think, and I should go, and I was just like, no. I loved it.
I just like to imagine that Pasha's in the background of like every romance scene making those movements.
Yeah.
She has a super advantage on stealth whenever there's a
Even her and
romance.
Athon, there's like a cutout of Pasha behind them.
Yes.
No, actually, Athon has been romancing the cutout this entire time.
Oh,
And Pasha in the background is like, yes.
yeah. It's the cutout.
There you go.
It's the cardboard.
There we go.
She has a button and it says like a few different lines like, yes, thank you. Kyun, 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 kyun.
Kyun.
Voice re-recorders.
And then what? Have I told you about Ashkari Kozloon? And like those 3 things.
Thoughts about role playing with Theoben and Kenna?
Yeah,
Yes.
that'd be fun.
That's gonna be interesting.
Excited.
especially with the Dales coming up, because isn't she basically in charge of a lot of folk there?
That is the no, that's in Ferelden.
It's in
Oh.
Ferelden. You're
And
making
info.
your way there, though. You're
Yeah.
making your way there.
I don't know who to speak to first because, ooh,
I do.
Oh, and also, we're going to the Deep Road, so we need to talk to Theoben about that.
Yeah, I mean, I know that I probably between everyone, I want to talk to Theoben most, because even I said like in that one session, I think Theoben could really help Daretham even more so. He's already on his way to redemption, but really healing. But yeah, not to mention, I'm curious how Theoben specifically will react to me because I'm known as the Butcher to them. So yeah.
I mean, Theoben already knew about you also.
No, I mean I know. Like I'm curious how they will react to seeing and speaking to me,
Yeah.
kind of thing.
True.
I will say I'm kind of interested to see how Russo and Theo goes because I've personally I've seen Russo as like the season 3 Theo, where he started out as like the most average Joe and is just a parent and really didn't care about like any of this. Plus, the awkward dad conversation with Leon's gonna be amazing.
Oh no! Yep. So as a player, I'm super looking forward to that. But as a Leon, I'm like, oh no.
As a Leon. as a Leon.
There's really multiple Leons and like a bot.
Yeah.
Which Leon am I today?
The emo Leon.
Edge.
Oh my god, that would be so like cool if like as slowly as Leon like became more corrupted, he like changed his clothes so that he was getting more darker and darker.
Dyed his hair black. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know who to speak to first because they're both. I would speak to both to be honest. Either or is, because there's not much connect. The only thing connected, I guess, would be Theorem because I'm taking care of, well, quote unquote, taking care of Daretham.
Mm-hmm.
Don't know much how I would. Nothing much on Kenna yet, but I don't know. Maybe that might spur in the moment. Something might come up. We'll see. But I wish to do with both of them. So.
Same.
I'm really interested to see how Kenna's going to do not being the matriarch of the Avar soon because her term was coming to an end in the reunion session.
Yeah. Yep.
I was just gonna say I don't know because I'm so excited to RP with both Theoben and Kenna.
Anything else? Because in 15 minutes, I'm about to get into a call with Hannah and Sam.
Oh boy.
Okay, then.
The plotting.
The plot.
Right.
One thing I did.
Go ahead.
One thing I did like was the ability to explore Circle Mage's control versus emotions.
Yeah.
That was
That was an interesting journal. Yeah.
I'd like to explore that more because if mages feel way too strongly and try to use magic, things can go wrong.
I think that like mages are taught that emotions themselves are not bad. It's just when you're trying to connect to the Fade and you have high emotions. Yeah. And I don't think that Rosie understands that. So, which is why she thought that that she thought that any strong emotions from you, because she was thinking, oh well, they have Tranquil and Tranquil don't have emotions and they're safe. So she just feels like, I guess Leon is, needs to suppress himself, and that's why. That was her explanation as to why maybe Leon's not interested, is because he's.
Okay.
She said maybe he's just not able to because of that. So.
Okay. Yeah, that makes more sense. Okay. Cool.
Mm-hmm. And my thing was, I feel like we're definitely next session gonna go into some Abomination Darkspawn stuff.
Probably.
Yeah. Because we'll have the Potion Master himself.
Not to mention they in the reunion session. We're doing that.
Mm-hmm. I think we're gonna get an Old God hint too, simply because we're going underground.
Yeah.
That'll be fun.
Also, the mutated spider darkspawn.
Yeah. Those ones. Interesting.
Yeah, Hormax made it to the surface.
Hormax.
We're all dead.
Fudge.
It's going to be fine, guys. We're just going to have spiders everywhere.
I will say I like that. I like like this session. I'm actually going back with Tyrion to go doctor. Actually, even though we had a very interesting one situation with that, but still, I like that we're going. That I'm going back to that direction. Like, hey, here's a doctor, because I was missing out a bit on that area. So yeah, thank you for that.
Yeah, Skull reached out to me and said, I'd like to do a scene where we're showing more of Tyrion doing his doctor stuff, and my immediate thought was not the Darren thing. My immediate thought was the tumble thing.
Tumble thing.
So that was
nice.
The Darren
like
thing.
that.
The Darren thing ended up being something that Skull came up with, but I was like, yeah, I think this will happen next after that.
Because I wanted to see more of like. I think the last time I went in doctor mode was like session 5 or 6. It was like a long time. I was like, I missed Dr. Tyrion.
Well, Dr. Tyrion apparently bit off more than he could chew.
Yes,
so,
apparently. And maybe more. Who knows? I would like to see more.
Maybe more. So, you've got your work cut out for you. I'm sure that that Tumble will need some follow-ups, some follow-up visits. So, I mean, we're going to Ferelden next, so who knows how many people he's going to end up sleeping with over there. So,
would it be bad if I started shipping Tyrion and Tumble?
Yeah.
Oh
no.
Yeah, do it.
I will not accept this.
Tumbin.
Tumbrin.
Or something.
Tumbrin. I like that.
With Tumble, he's getting himself hurt so that he is
Why does
going to see the doctor.
Spin and Dry are trying to go with Mai and Tai, so you need.
Yeah.
Tumbrin sound like a bootleg version of Dragon Age's Tumblr version?
Tumbrin. Yep.
You can date, and you got a personal doctor to help you out.
Can I very quickly say, I did like the scene that Pasha had with Rosie, because Pasha hasn't had many scenes with Rosie.
Yes,
Oh,
I love
yeah.
that too, and I love how Pasha's and Rosie was like, "Can you help me, please? I'm trying so hard, he's not getting it."
He's denser than a sack of bricks.
I really loved Rosie just being like, I don't, is there something wrong with me? And Pasha going into mom mode, being like, you listen here.
Yes, I love that.
I'm very glad that Pasha was finally able to have words with Dartham, because I swear, if I had to wait another week and then it got to the end of it and it was like, and end of session, I swear to God, I would have been like, no, it's not the end of the session. I'm having my scene.
I like the idea that Dartham and Pasha have constant philosophy nights, things like that. And it is really an interesting. I'm curious what Pasha's thoughts would be on Dartham's thing of, I don't care about what your philosophy is. I do care if you think your philosophy is superior, which I do not believe is true. That's his real one sticking point with the Kuhn, because from what Andrea has said, they did not. They said our philosophy is the only one that is right, and that's kind of his real only sticking point with it.
Well, I mean, the Kuhn does believe it's eventually just going to absorb everything.
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah, and to him, he's definitely like me, more libertarian, more individualistic. So, so he is like, that is dangerous because sure, maybe as a society you can get everyone on the same page, but individually you will cause untold suffering.
Yeah, the Kuhn does not deal well with, I want to be an individual. It's like, no, you're all cogs and part of this machine.
Mm-hmm.
And we keep the cogs whirring, but if you decide to strike out, oh no.
Yeah.
I mean, the Kuhn's just communism ranked up to the 11th billionth gear, essentially.
Yeah. But everyone is like a cog in the machine, even the leaders.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no one is individual, no one is greedy to some degree. It's a society that it's all about the society.
Well, it's
Nothing more.
interesting because it's doing what you really can't do with communism in real life, is that it's taking, like, people taking advantage of it out of it. Like, it's everyone's on the same page. You will only be this. You will only do this. This is your specific thing.
Like it's people took it seriously, and and now I think the support system is enough that because people have been raised to take it seriously, it continues to take itself seriously.
Mm-hmm.
It's a cool society, and I'd love to explore more of it. 10 out of 10.
You know, from like a very far and safe distance.
Yes.
Yeah.
With a telescope on a boat, just
Not within integration distance.
Because I feel like if you just show up like, hey, I'm here to do a story, and you guys, you just wake up in the labor camp.
Oh, yeah. Or your mouth shown shut.
That's only the worst cases. The only reason they would sew your mouth is if you are a blood leader. You are. I think even
so what the Qun does with mages that are absorbed into the Qun, they immediately undergo Vidath Bas treatment. They immediately like, you get Sargamek because we don't know what you've been taught, and you might have been cavorting with demons, so you're going to get Sargamek. With Cerebas, they only have their mouths sewn shut if they are caught doing something that is like, you were practicing blood magic, you were trying to escape, you were doing something we didn't particularly like, then you're going to get your mouth sewed shut.
Yeah.
But
not all mages get the whole mouth.
That would be I just thought it would be a really cool idea to play a Cerebas. Like have two players in a heart game or whatever play a Cerebas and an Untam, or was it?
Yeah.
Avarad, yeah. Play a Cerebas and an Avarad that are going out and see, like, not only a Cerebas, but a Cerebas who is loyal.
Yeah.
That would be interesting to see, but that's not going to happen.
I wonder how the mouth sewed shut, how do they get nutrients? They just like have like a little corner?
Take a straw through like the middle of the threading.
The Qun just have an infinite supply of straws. That's like their biggest export that no one realizes.
Yeah, because the all-undated straws are banned. Only the Qun use it.
Plot twist: they were really formed by the labor straw company.
They're just reeds.
It's really interesting how like Dartham and Pasha are basically very similar, I think. Especially in how they debate philosophy and stuff. The difference is in exactly what they think the ideal for society is. Because for Dartham, he's very much a libertarian. He's very much I'm fine with anything as long as everything agrees that there are other options kind of thing. Whereas I think Pasha's much more authoritarian in that she's Qun and that's it. So it's a cool dynamic where they both agree. And the thing is, I don't know if Dartham in this argument is right or not, but I do think he does have a point when he says that Pasha has only known one option, whereas Dartham has seen multiple options, which I think is the one point he says that I don't think I'm more right than you, but I think I have more perspective than you, and I maybe have a little more experience in the sense that I have the ability to experience fully another option, whereas you don't, and you haven't experienced another option until now. So like he would say, if you had only lived in the Qun and were talking to me, I would not consider your arguments as valid as if you are now here living outside, experiencing other cultures and other peoples.
I think Pasha can both agree and disagree with that. I think the part of her that is still very loyal to the Qun would be like, nah, he's talking bullshit. Qun is correct. Qun is Qun. Everything is Qun. But then the part of her that's more open-minded and that is actively like, no, I'm cool with these people. Let's go and experience things. That part of her's like, well, maybe he has a point.
I think it's been getting also a little bit of me with Tyrion, like when he came up to you and like told you the whole freedom, like because. I mean, if I look at Tyrion is a very much a freedom rebel, sort of, or even a socialist, I'd say.
One thing I wanted to do, and our interaction that unfortunately didn't have the time was I wanted to delve further onto the Kuhn button of Pasha being like, well, do you think you can even go back at this point? Like, you are basically a Vidoff boss.
Talbashov, sorry.
Talbashov.
Sorry. I think Pasha's kind of thing, you know, like, from at least I hope Salit asked permission. For all I know, Salit could have been like, yeah, I'll ask permission.
Well, no, I'm not saying that. I'm saying you getting the avatar powers has made you beyond too dangerous to even be considered.
Yeah.
It's kind of, it would be curious. It would be curious if that's the case where, like, now Pasha has to consider, like, I believed in the Kuhn, but now I have a thing that the Kuhn finds is inherently wrong, but I am still following the Kuhn. This has not changed me in any way. It is just added to me. And so maybe there is a point, because if something is added but not changed.
Mm-hmm.
There's also the thought of she was being groomed, or at least tapped for leadership potential. If maybe some of her political enemies get a hold of some of the things that she's been doing, even though she's not been doing anything wrong, it could be easily spun into, look at this dangerous person.
Look at this Talvashoth rather than look at this Tamasred.
Yeah.
I think Pasha may at some point have to be like, oh, no, I need to become Arakune. To keep my position, I'm going to have to do this.
Oh, yeah.
Before I was content to just, let whatever will happen. But now it's like, I need to be the Arakune because they can't kick the Arakune out of the country.
Yeah, and also you've seen too much of the world, so maybe that will cause Pasha's policies to deviate a little bit.
I'm gonna say I have in my head a checkpoint list, and depending on certain checkpoints, Pasha's gonna go one way or the other, depending on how I see it. And one of my checkpointed lists is rather full, so I'm like,
Wait, what do you mean by that?
I have two checkpoint lists. Does Pasha go?
Got it. Okay.
Does Pasha go Talbashov, or does she go full on Cunity Kun? And one of those lists is looking rather full.
I will say it is kind of been unfairly biased against Pasha philosophy-wise. Because it's like you're surrounded by everyone who's like, I really don't like the Kuhn, here's why.
Well, it's interesting because like Pasha has so many people that has been like anti-Kuhn, which frankly I think would only increase her pro-Kuhn checklist.
That's just it though, is like this group specific, and they haven't immediately just been outright insultive or saying that they're mean. It's like, I don't like it, this is why I think you're flawed.
There's also the idea of she's seen the world and she now has a stronger belief in the Kuhn, because everything that she's seen could just be fixed by being Kuhn. So depending on how she internalizes some of these inputs.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's kind of,
Fun character, Callista. 10 out of 10.
Agreed.
Thank you. And now I die. Just like Callista couldn't be here this week because she's dead. We have replaced her with just a sign that says Kuhn. That was basically
a sign that says
someone just
Kuhn
hit the button and it says a random verse of the Kuhn.
She's gonna spam that button like.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting how her interactions, because like in some ways, Daretham considers Tyrion and Pasha very similar.
Really?
Yeah, he does, because of how convicted they are in their beliefs. Like, like to him, Pasha is just as much of a zealot as Tyrion is, except they're just zealots about different ideologies. And like, I'm like, he didn't bring that up, but like, if the two of them were to come to him, Daretham would be like, I think you're both wrong. I don't agree with either of you. Because Tyrion, for some people, they have to conform. They have to do this. They are not like, emotionally, mentally capable enough, and they prefer being a cog in the system.
Yeah.
But Pasha, some people need to be individualistic. Some people need to do this, and he's like,
they're
both of
right
you,
and wrong at the same time.
yeah, you are both deeply flawed. And also, I would like to say, I am flawed. I'm not saying all this is right because there's some
To
people
be
that say,
fair, we are a very mentally messed up party when you like go down the hole.
yeah.
Yeah.
Hooray.
Which,
We're just
frankly,
implying that we need a therapist.
yeah, frankly, I think it's only appropriate that the fucked up mentally party is here in 2020. I think that's
Yes.
that's just right.
Ding ding.
I was gonna say to Russo, like Tyrion will keep up the offer for if you need to like you need someone to stress out on.
That sounds so bad out of context.
I know.
By the way, I haven't stopped
This is-
recording, so yeah, I'm keeping all of this and I'll send it on Tarek.
Damn you.
This is just increasing Pasha's belief that, yeah, he's offering sexual services. He's offering to let Russo take his stress out on him.
Yeah.
Sexual, 100%.
It's more on the side of training because yeah.
He's training him.
Training? Okay, got
No.
Sexual.
Oh god.
So in Dragon Age Origins, the rogue of the party was also the sex worker.
it.
Wait,
Yes.
and I played the rogue already in Dragon Age Origins and I finished
And
it.
he was an elf, you know?
Yes.
These are too many factors aligning to you.
And he was a slave, and he used knives, and he was an assassin.
Might as well tell it to Zevran, I guess.
You have to harden everyone in the party.
Devron.
Tyrion changes to Zevran suddenly, like in just one fell swoop.
Satira was Zevran the whole time.
Da-da-da.
Hello, my lovely children.
What was that, Tommy, that you were saying?
Well, now that we're over the halfway point, essentially, like we're 25 sessions around like 12 point whatever is gonna be.
I think it's like
Halfway
24,
through-
25, so yeah.
Yeah, 25 sessions. So like halfway through next session, we're halfway done, and every character's already had such a growth to where I'm interested to see just how drastically everyone is going to be different for the other half of the campaign.
Yeah.
Because I feel like what we roleplayed before can't really subsist. Otherwise, it would make that beginning arc meaningless.
Yeah. No, it's.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing about our game is like we've grown into like our characters are growing to the point where like we're also changing the way how we view certain situations and areas. I mean, we all have that. I mean, Deritum is now can be cured possibly and doesn't see himself to be a vengeful murderer. Russo doesn't see himself as a a man who doesn't believe he has nothing left other than to keep on Balin, but now he has a new purpose with Balin, being the guardian and like just protecting him. Trying to
Tyrion's trying to come to terms with Amirin and what that means, and I do like the arc where he's going to go and kill Amirin. That's 10 out of 10.
not kill. He said he doesn't want the death.
Oh, okay.
He wants either imprisonment or tranquility. But if I want to go with the honest answer as a player, I think tranquility is the one. I think I answered that question in the session. Was it 10 or 9?
The warm up, yeah, for that.
Yeah, the warm up session.
9.
Yeah, where I just said like, yeah, I think tranquility would be the what he wants because to him it's the equally just punishment. Well, that's his view. You know, you turn me into whatever I am now. You turn me to who I am. Now let's see how much he will be powerless. Will he be a master to Amron? Like I said, no. Like once he makes Amron tranquil, like he'll drop him off somewhere and like let him go, and that's it. He's not going to like be like him.
Because the Tranquil need some sort of handler, because though they are a little autonomous, they're still.
Yeah, but what he would probably do is he would just drop him up either the nearest, whatever would be whichever circle
or such.
Yeah, and just drop him off there and just say, there you go.
Also, Probably a blood mage. So
I imagine so.
Probably.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, actually, it would be really cool if he wasn't. But Seals,
He
yeah,
was-
he's pretty much, I think,
I mean,
guaranteed to
if
be a
it's
blood mage.
if it's the same Forfax that I'm thinking, then probably it's blood mage. Yeah,
Mhm.
that's my guess.
Yeah.
But I never specified what uses his magic, so
But also then kind of on that, so we got Tyrion's arc. Then of course we have Leon's arc, which is kind of like half a corruption arc and half not a corruption arc.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
want
like
to
he's
see
finding
where it goes on either he becomes Edgy McGee, time to murder everyone, or rejection, or
Mhm.
something like that.
It could be to the point where like there's I think 3 main options, which is it's murder, murder, murder. It's never murder again, or it's use it but don't use it to murder kind of thing.
Yeah, no, I get you.
And then Pasha, of course, we've talked about it a lot already. He's
Yeah.
grown and such. It's interesting because I'm not sure if this is true, but in some ways, I think Daretham has actually grown the least. And
I
it's
disagree with that one.
it's specifically
Yeah.
because fundamentally, as a person, he was kind of always the same person. It was just how he saw himself that has changed, if that makes sense. Like, Daretham, if anything, changed most from his slave time to his start a campaign time with all the stuff that happened with the Darkspawn and everything. But from start a campaign, like all the stuff he's talking with Pasha about, he still believed that. He would have still said that back when he was a slave. He would have still said that all the time he was a Darkspawn, etc. It's just that he did not consider himself part of the good guys. And now that he has the option to cure, he is kind of able to see himself in a more objective light. And so in some ways, I think he, as a person, philosophically, like everything as what he believes, he has honestly not changed that much. Because if you kind of look to how he's talking to Pasha now pre-cure, and now we talk to her post-cure, like it's pretty much the same thing. So it's more how he sees himself that has changed and evolved, which is still a really important arc. I mean, I know I'm myself, but it's interesting how, at least I think, it's less how he's changed, it's more how he sees that has changed.
I don't want to infer anything on your character, but the way that I personally see this arc for Daretham is like a piece of bronze. So in the start, he started out a little shiny and new, and then the taint tainted him and really mucked it. So it's a dull bronze caked in mud, and then now that he's thinking about himself differently with the cure, he's slowly wiping off those grime spots. He's inherently the same, but it's just the circumstances and the what's going on around him. That's
even then I think be a little different because we haven't. It's so funny because I actually think there may be 2 separate arcs or something. Maybe, I'm not sure. It may come up into Winter because there's the part of him that saw everything going with the taint and everything with the blights. But really, the cure and the conversation with Pasha was the big turning point. Just that simple idea of being a locust rather than being an individual. That kind of pretty much, I'd say in my head, destroyed his perception paint-wise. Like it's almost like he wanted, like I kind of said, he wanted to believe everything that everyone's saying. He wanted to not see himself as a monster. He wanted to blame the archdemons and not himself. And he felt he wasn't able to. But now he feels like I can finally believe what I truly believe. It was like that cure, that idea of I don't have to kill them. That was just I never wanted to kill them, but I felt it was the only option. However, he still spent 24 years as a slave doing fucking awful things that he could have said no to, but he did them to protect his family, which, granted, is not as bad as just doing them, but he still did them. So I think that aspect of his life, which is pretty untapped right now, could also come up more, which is kind of like the other part of the arc, because those things were things that, like, and like I've said, he's done awful things to children and to his own people. So that part of his character, I think, hasn't been addressed as much, which I think could come. I'm not sure. Could come up.
I want to ask, do you remember the sheet that Hark sent us? And it had, give a secret that your character knows, a secret that your character doesn't know, and then there's a third thing that Hark's going to be like, and bam, right for the feels. I'm really curious how much of that is either coming up or has been. I'm not like, tell me your character's secrets. I demand them. Like, I don't mean like that, but I'm really curious.
I mean, I've said this before. I wrote down nothing. I said, you surprised me for every single one of those. So I have no idea.
I think I might have one that's been
Darren, right?
But I don't know. No, for me. No, Darren wasn't a secret. Darren was an NPC.
Got it. Okay.
All my NPCs have been revealed, as far as you could tell. Yeah, that was Naraka, Darren, and Amron. Those were my 3 main NPCs. No one else.
Mine,
but I do have an unknown secret that Darren doesn't know that I thought might have been revealed, but it hasn't yet. And I'm curious what Hark is going to do with that. I won't say what it's about.
Yeah, I'll go. I mean, I can say now, like, 2 of them have actually shown up in game. One of them has only been mentioned. Livia, sorry, but Livia, the therapist, that was one of the NPCs. Then my master, who has shown up, it hasn't really done much, but he's shown up in the start. And then the third is, and I think I said this, third is the architect, who we're most likely going to meet soon. So.
I thought Balm would have been maybe one of your characters, but well.
No, Balm was entirely Hark's creation.
Hark creation.
I didn't know Balm existed until he introduced me.
I agree that Dartham, like, mentally hasn't changed a whole lot. I'd say it's more or less like his methodology and approach has changed.
Yeah,
is how I really see it. Like, before he only saw one path. Now he's actually more enlightened to everything around him.
Yeah.
And it's funny because specifically for himself,
I mean, that was
like,
the basic gist, nothing really different.
Yeah, and that's very much true. Like, before the cure, he was like, there is only one option for me. It is going to be I'm dead, and ideally I eradicate the blight before I die. That's the only option I consider. With the cure now, he's like, I have options now. And it's funny because as much as he espouses individuality and the libertarian stuff to Pasha and to everyone else, he did not apply that to himself. He said, I don't deserve that. I only have one option. But now that he has the cure, he's like, wait, no, I do. And yeah, that's kind of been the big thing that changes. And really, it was thanks to Andrea that allowed him to do it. It's funny. I thought Theoben would be the person, but it's actually Andrea who pretty much destroyed all that.
I think Terry might not have much change on him because I think he's still going to be the Freedom Fire unless something happens that changes that direction.
Mm-hmm.
Probably going to see more options since there's Darren, but I think he still sees a system of like the Vinter and all that. Just like, nah, this is not.
I mean, Dartham sees Tevinter as awful too. For Dartham, between the Kuhn and Tevinter, I'll pick the Kuhn. But between the Kuhn and, like, say, Ferelden, I'd pick Ferelden.
But it's the thing is, like, I think he's still, unless someone changes the viewpoint that like because he believes some people should get their freedom, but there are others who shouldn't. He does believe that there are those who should not get that option because they either committed heinous crimes or they done shit that shouldn't even be a thing.
Yeah.
And I think he still is gonna follow those beliefs until something happens that will change that. So I think what might change probably is his experience. I think as we travel on more, I think he will go from the inexperienced doctor who just knows like all these small things to know more and maybe make more decisions and more like experience under his belt. Mm-hmm. So I don't think there will be much change under Terran, but maybe I'll be surprised.
Yeah, I feel like in some ways Pasha, Tyrion, Rousseau, and Daretham I think all of them as people, like their belief system fundamentally in their core, I think all four of us aren't probably aren't changing that too much.
Probably
I
not.
think.
Mm.
Leon, I think, is the person who's like not only his viewpoint but his fundamental belief system. I think is, and also he's the youngest, so it's like the most malleable. Whereas in some way, everyone else has experienced something.
Yeah. Oh, one thing I did want to broach was Tommy's character, Rousseau. There we go. I just always.
You remember? Thank you.
Yeah, I remember this time.
Mr. O'Sir, right?
It's the one guy with the hammer.
If you tell his name, he's gonna come with a shotgun.
I think that Rousseau's core belief system is just going to shatter around him with the learning of the he's a skilled one.
True, actually, that's very true.
Yeah.
I will say the other half of the campaign will be a lot more interesting for Rousseau than what it's been till now. Because for the beginning arc to where we're getting ready to meet the other Guardians, Rousseau's very much been... He's been the guy that's like, I have my thoughts, I have my opinions, but I'm very much like, leave me alone, let me do my own thing. And it's taken quite a bit to shatter him out of that. And I'd say that the Guardians showing up when they did actually propelled a lot of arcs a lot further, way faster than they would have gone on their own. Like, I felt like Daretham, Balin, Leon, and Tyrion, all of those arcs got pushed way exponentially faster.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, with this session. This session propelled so much of our shit forward. How was that letter that propelled? So, and yeah, with these, we'll see what's going to happen. I mean, the last two sessions, our arcs are much more forward. Rousseau, you got your true scale one. Now you have to find out what's going to happen on that side.
Mm-hmm.
The Guardian Child, Tyrion now with Amryn, since now there's two new reasons why he needs to go back to the Winter as fast as he can. Not just because of Darren, but because of the letter. Because now Leon wants to go there, and it's like, well, shit. And I said this in my journal. The journal entry I said was like, there's no point. I thought I would escape from Tevinter and I no longer have to go back there. But now after all these things that happened in these past weeks or so, it feels like that's going to be shattering along those lines. So yeah, I think all of us had some stings in this past few sessions where
I mean, even though I was an ass and didn't show up for this session, still in my half, it was still a lot came up.
So yeah, Tom, you're right.
Yeah. Like I was saying, because of those sessions, everything got pushed at a much faster rate, and I think it's going to help the campaign quite a bit. With Rousseau in particular, he's seen how you are is not going to work. You have to be different, be way better.
Yeah. I mean, I think this is just... We've got 13 more sessions if we go to the max 25.
Yeah, I definitely feel like pretty much the turning point, I think, in terms of arc growth was Orlais. And like what was, I think, the session right before Orlais to now. I think those have been the big, like, there was a lot of build up before then.
Most of them, yeah.
And then those like 4 or 5 sessions were just all like consecutive, like development.
I think I had like the most earliest one because of Navarra with the session 7. Like,
actually, that's true. Pretty much the start was when Darren showed up. That was like the start of the kind of development arc.
And then from there, like, then you guys all got your Orlais stuff, and I was left behind, like, in the dust, like, well, I got Darren.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I really feel... Oh, sorry.
No, please go ahead.
I was just going to say, I really feel Hawk's going to pull a switcheroo with Amryn. And it's going to be like, yeah, Amryn was a total dick to Tyrion. He was an absolute arsehole. But in his spare time, he was helping orphans learn to read. And he rescued puppies and kittens from the street. And he's helping out these nuns. And he helped save the world. And like, he's an amazing guy, except for this one person.
if that happens, that just destroys about in my entire point of turn just going after Amron.
Yeah.
And it'll make me leave. And I'll be mad, I think.
Although the aftermath could be amazing. Tyrion kills Amron, and then these nuns show up like, we're here for our regular donation at Lord Amron. And then the orphans go, Lord Amron. Puppies and kittens come in, and Tyrion's just like, what the fuck?
It was black and white and zooms in on Tyrion, and it was at this moment Tyrion knew
He fucked up.
I probably what he'll do is like, yeah, Amron's sleeping. One moment he goes upstairs, he just brings like the entire vault and just pays him up. Here you go, live yourselves a new life. Amron is no longer going to help you.
Yeah.
I think what's going to solidify everyone's characters is going to be the next point of each individual arc that we get to. Like for Pasha, I think it's going to be when we find Dandelion. For Russo, I think it's going to be when we find Corin. Dartham, it's going to be when we get to the Awakened. What's going to actually like set how they want to be for the rest of the remainder.
Yeah, because like I've hinted at it, but the Awakened do not like Dartham. He is on their shit list, big time. For reasons that I'm sure will come up. He did do some bad things, so yeah.
You kill Awakens. And although no Darkspawn, then maybe Awakening, maybe.
He murdered a load of Darkspawn children who just wanted Amron to read to them.
Oh god.
Sorry. What I do think is going to happen is that Hark is going to pit Leon versus Tyrion for the Amron arc.
Yeah, I bet.
It's going to be, well, he did abuse Tyrion, but he's the only reason why Leon's alive, so, Or if you kill him, Leon's going to die.
I think, but that's why he's getting Darren's help on this also, sort of.
Yeah.
Because he wants to do the secret. He's telling her, like he told her, I want this to be a secret. No one else will know about this.
Wait, what?
Absolutely
What about Darren?
Because I told Darren that I want to go to Winter. When I'm ready and when we go there, I will give her the freedom that she wanted. By giving myself up. But I wanted it to be kept a secret between me and only me and her and no one else.
Got it.
So.
There's a lot of stuff. Like I feel like the first part of this campaign, like first 6 or so sessions, were kind of not terribly eventful in terms of character development and stuff. Like a lot of stuff happened, but there wasn't a lot of stuff that happened. But then 7 and onwards, it's just kind of been character moment after character moment, which is really, really cool. I'm curious how the next half of the game is going to go.
We got a whole few sessions, another half left.
Yep.
Yeah, Hark is very good at these little tidbits. You're like, oh, this is going to happen in a few sessions from now. Look forward to it.
Yeah.
Not just the
tonight.
Foreshadowing.
2 more Guardians.
Yep.
That'll be fun.
Not to mention Maximilian. Not to mention
Lealden.
Or Lealden. Yeah, we haven't talked to Lealden or Maximilian. So, yeah.
Maybe some guest PCs from interviews. Didn't make it.
Interviews.
I'm assuming there's also going to be a spin-off.
Yeah.
There's always a spin-off.
No, not always. There's only been
one, right?
Like one
I think there's been 2. There's been 2.
Where was the other
because
one?
Mass Effect Season 1.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. Mass Effect Season 1 had like 15 spin-offs, I think, yeah.
There was some
spin-off teams. Sorry.
Mass Effect, Pokemon had a spin-off.
Oh, did it?
Harry Potter, yeah, I'm pretty sure Pokemon had a spin-off.
Pokemon had an extra one-shot.
Got it.
And Harry Potter had a spin-off. I assumed there was always a spin-off. So
no, there was never a spin-off for Dragon Age Season 1, 2,
or Mass Effect Season 2, I think.
No.
None of those had spin-offs.
Yeah.
I think he's gonna follow format of what he did with season 2 of Dragon Age, where he has the party, then he has the finalists appear in certain parts.
Yeah, I like that.
That's possible. What might happen?
Well, I feel like we've already got it confirmed that Gremlin Mike's gonna be in one
Yeah,
session.
Gremlin Mike-
That's guaranteed.
Yeah.
Guaranteed. Mike's
I
gonna
guarantee
be in
he's
session.
a true scale one. He's been creating the true scale one, so we have to thank him for.
And yes, now I'm technically older than Dartham, considering I'm an ancient egg that was just found from like.
Yeah,
eons.
technically.
Yeah.
So
Man.
who's the old daddy now?
I also love the fact that nobody reacted to Dartham's age, except for Leon. Like everybody else is just like, "Oh, okay, you're old."
Whoa,
Leon's
you're
just like,
1,300 years old.
I think I knew that. Like, I think you said that. Like in front
No,
of
no,
Cedric.
like
Yeah.
Pasha discovered it, Tyrion, Rousseau, everybody discovered it, and they're just like, "Huh, okay." But Leon's just like, "What?"
The heck? Yeah, there's so many things that Leon wants to ask you now. There's like a whole conversation.
It's like the whole theme is we each have one person that reacts to the bombshells, then no one else does.
Yeah, like Sir Garrison with the Dark Spawn. Everyone else was like, neat.
Eh.
While we're on that, I actually do like the bromance that's starting to happen with Dartham and Russo. It's been very
Yeah.
subtle.
Yeah, like I feel like after they had their quite obvious issues, if you will, I think after that was resolved, they're very similar people. So they've both kind of like, I think, started to be like, yeah, you're cool, man.
We must be one hell of a party who just role play like on most sessions. Because cause we have sessions where we literally spend like a full session where we just RP with each other. Or
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's a
Well,
lot
I've
of
noticed
things.
that Hark's been like, hey, this session we need to get to this.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
please, can we get to this? Because we went so slow.
I don't know if anyone else has done that, but I've noticed, like, I think we just all made, because every one of our characters has so many problems and issues, there is so many opportunities for us to just roleplay ourselves.
I think now, since we hit the point where I think we've exhausted most of us, I think.
That's true, though. That's true.
Probably. Like, there's like we can do more of that, but if we want to make this campaign like a bit more lasting, I think we might have to either lessen that amount or we sort of stop, because I think we've reached a point where everyone has got their moments. Everyone's at least revealed some of their secrets to everyone. Not everyone, I mean not all. Leon, Blood Mage, but I'm saying a hypothetical. So
Yeah. I think we've the communication between the parties, if you will, we have started to exhaust the campsite dialogue options. So
Just have to keep spamming that romance option.
yeah.
and it's not bad. It's just it's
No, yeah, it's definitely fair. Like, I think
Yeah.
a lot of the stuff that would happen with us, like you said, Ethan, has been addressed. So now it's kind of like we had to address all of our own personal shit before we could start dealing with plot shit.
Yeah.
So
yeah. And I think now it's gonna be the plot shit in like our own arcs. Maybe we might have the occasional like short conversation, which I think we should have some shorter conversation at least.